That's what I think he was going to do. No, I think that there we go. I pushed the boat.
Alright everyone, welcome back to the channel. I know it's been a while. I took some time off. A lot of things going on here with some new construction going on. Obviously, hunting season for New England has started. So we have a lot of people zeroing their hunting rifles, practicing with shotguns, whole 9 yards. Of course, with everything else going on, people are buying things like crazy. No ammo in stock. They keep buying others, since we can't have AR-15s, so been busy. With that, figured I'd talk about something that, well, most people aren't aware of. They don't know that we do, but it's actually what we're really kind of here on the map for. It goes all the way back to the 40s. So, as y'all know, we are originally the range for Lyman Products, where they tested their scopes and everything. And then, of course, they opened it up to the public so they could do competition shooting. Hence why we have a 100-yard and down there a 200-yard range for competition shooters. Now, they do small bore, large bore, so on and so forth. Today, we mainly focus on our small bore. Not only do we have adult leagues, but we also have what's called the Junior Rifle Club. It's our league, and it's for kids between the ages of 9 and 17. And we're going to go over what kind of guns they shoot, some of the equipment they have. And I'll admit, I am not an expert on this. In fact, I have no idea about 99% of this stuff. A bunch of people that work here are into it. It is not my cup of tea. I am going to do my best to explain what I do know to you. And I would recommend, if you had questions, put them in the comments. I will try to answer them. I will ask other people that do know about them. And I'll try to get back to you. One of the things I did was I actually went around and I asked some of the, I want to say older employees, but the more seasoned employees that know more about this competition shooting than I do. Pulled a bunch of information down from the internet, specifically from the NCAA site, and of course NSSF. So, just so y'all know, this is a Division I sport. It falls under the category, just like basketball, football, all the major sports that everybody knows about. Rifle happens to be one of them. Though this is an expensive sport. I'm just going to go right off that. Right off the bat, it is expensive. There's a lot of equipment that comes into play, and the main component to the equipment is probably the most expensive piece of that, which would be your rifle. And, of course, we'll talk about the parts that go on it. Our Junior Rifle Club is from 9 years old to 17 years old. We also have, outside of our Junior Rifle Club, a few high schools around here that still have their own teams. I'm not going to name the high schools right off the bat. Probably won't name them at all, just don't want anybody getting in trouble. But we do have a few private and then state-ran high schools that actually do have rifle teams. The way that works is they leave school for like any other sport, and the only thing they're going to have is their uniform, or they can store their uniforms here, but all of the guns, all of the ammunition, all those things are stored here, because unless they're really into them, they're not going to spend the money on the rifle or the equipment. So we, of course, have tons of rifles for them to use. They're fitted to them and sized up for them. And we also have a bunch of uniforms that we store here, because it's not like a normal jersey and shorts, things like that. It's actually more complex than that, which we'll go over. So, I'm not going to hold it up any longer. So what exactly am I talking about when it comes to shooting rifles? Well, the rifle is only a 22 long rifle. It is a single shot bolt action. The ones that we're using for our junior rifle club are not the latest and greatest. They're good, they're still accurate, and they're still very popular. But if you do a quick internet search, you will find more of the latest technology, because obviously these people on the internet are either in college for Division 1, they've gone on to the Olympics, things like that. And this is viable if your child is interested, because we've had many kids actually get scholarships and go on to college to shoot for that college. Actually, most of the junior coaches have gone on to college now, and they're on the college sports team, the college rifle team, as it were, and they're excelling and doing quite well with that. So what we're going to talk about, I'm going to scoot over and get it. Okay. These are big and heavy. It is not something that would be like a modern day firearm. That's light and agile. It's right here. It is called an Anschutz. I think I pronounced that right. As you can see, the bolt is open. There's nothing in it. It's even got a flag. That's how they all are. So starting from the barrel, I don't have a lot of room, so I'm just gonna have to move the gun. You have a front sight. It is not the blade style. This actually has a aperture inside, or a circle with little lines that help them aim. You've got the rear sight, which is completely adjustable, and depending how they're shooting, they are going to be adjusting or doping the rear sight. They are, and it looks like a scope, but they are irons. According to the rules, from what was explained to me, once you are 55 or older, you're able to use a scope. Everybody else, straight up irons. And these aren't like normal irons. These are really high tech, where you can really adjust them and dope them, which is data of previous engagement. So they all have notebooks. They take a shot, and they have spotters who will tell them how to adjust it. They make the adjustments, and then they write all the adjustments down, so the next time they shoot, obviously they have the information for that rifle that they're using, since they're all serialized, and they know when they're taking a certain shot, whether it be standing, offhand, prone, sitting, whatever position they're in, they know what adjustments to make. This one has a standard stock on it. It's got adjustments here and here for the cheek. So it's got this little thing on it. This is actually an arm sling. So the arm goes right here. The support arm goes through here. Or should I say this? Through here. This part. Right there. Yeah. Sorry. This part. Now, I know what you're thinking. It's the same thing I am. When you think sling, you're thinking it runs over across the back, hooked to the front, the back, and it supports the gun. What this sling does, yeah, it supports the gun, but it is cinched up tightly around the support arm, mainly the bicep area, and they have to be sized specifically for the shooter. Because if you cinch this down and it's in the wrong spot, you're going to pinch off some of the veins in the brachial artery, and then you're going to get a pulse through the strap. And the strap is literally designed to help stabilize it, avoiding the heartbeat, so the gun doesn't bounce when the heart is beating. Alright? This does have a custom trigger on it. It is a straight trigger. There's hardly any curve to it. It has micro adjustments, so you can adjust exactly the weight on the pull and how it moves. We were talking about the adjustment of the cheek weld, and of course the buttstock. And for this one, that's pretty much the only adjustments on this model. And again, this is older. And the way the hand grip is set up, this is for a right hand. And you can have all this custom built or custom made if you don't like the factory one. Okay? I'll be right back. So now that that one's up, let's take a look at one of the more modern ones. It's got a lot more pieces that move on it. This one actually is for sale. It is a left-handed gun, so it really won't work for me. But you can swap the bottom pieces out and make it a right-handed gun. So the front sight, you can see, is completely the same. The rear sight, again, is just like the other one, except now the butt stock, right? The butt plate has all these different micro adjustments. This moves. This is a hook that goes under the arm. All of these can be adjusted. And one of the coaches was telling me a lot of people, since this comes on and off very easily, will have these in position for each stance they're going to have. So they'll buy multiple plates, and they're not cheap. The plate assembly is about $400. But they'll have one for prone, one for sitting, one for standing, and one for, prone, sitting, offhand, standing. I think I got the positions right. I don't know. So as you can tell on this one, it has a bipod. Now this bipod is not what you would think a bipod would be used for. This is just to keep the gun up off the ground so you're not laying it down on the barrel. It literally is just so when the gun's at rest, it's sitting on the grip and the bipod, and that's the only purpose it serves. As for weight, this one, again, is really heavy. Instead of being lightweight aluminum, I think it could be lightweight aluminum, but the barrel itself is extremely heavy for accuracy. And I'm just going to put this down because I'm tired of holding it. The rifles are very customizable. There are numerous adjustments for the individual shooter. That's why if you're going to get into it and you're going to get serious, you're going to buy one of those, you're going to spend the money. Now a slicked out version like this, brand new from the factory, I've seen them about $6,000. And then the iron sights that go on it, you're looking at about another $1,000 just for that. And then of course swapping triggers out and doing a bunch of other stuff, you're pushing anywhere from $6,000 to $8,000, not including the uniform and all that stuff. All right, so we're speaking about uniforms. So we talked about the sling and what it's utilized for on the support arm. It gets wrapped around the bicep to help stabilize the entire gun. The jacket. The jacket is specifically designed to limit your movement. It's not a jacket you would think. It's very stiff, made out of canvas. Some parts of it, other parts are just soft cloth, like the parts that go around the neck. It's got rubber on it for helping grip this when in position and shooting. I'll just show you the jacket. So here's one of the new jackets that we have for sale. You can see that it's got the rubberized pads on it. The upper part that goes around the neck is very soft, but the back is canvas and it's very rigid. It's very stiff. The inside, all canvas, very rigid, big buttons. Now there's whole rules that govern this that go into how tight a jacket can be, how rigid it is, the thickness of the canvas, tons of things that we're not going to get into. If it interests you, look it up. Or you can ask me and I'll send you the links for the, oh my god, it's not focused. There we go. I'll send you the links for the NCAA, NAAC, I want to say NAACP. Oh my god. The NCAA site that governs rifle. So this is the jacket right here. Very, very stiff. Along with the jacket comes pants. Pants are made out of the same material. They're usually color coordinated to match the jacket. Again, same thing, limit the movement. Though up and down the side of each leg is a zipper, and one of the coaches was explaining to me that during certain positions when you're shooting, you're going to want to unzip the leg so you're able to bend that one leg, especially like doing prone. You want to bend your leg up almost to a 90-degree angle, so when you're laying down, you're a little more comfortable. The shoes. The shoes look weird. They're perfectly flat. Most of them have square toes, and I'll show you a pair of shoes. We have two styles. I have a brand new pair that are for sale, and then I borrowed one from one of the Junior Rifle Club athletes. So the reason they have a square toe is specifically when in certain positions such as kneeling, they're able to put the square down, and their foot and leg are not rocking back and forth. Makes sense. The entire uniform is designed for one thing: stability. Stabilizing the rifle so you can get the perfect bullseye shot, because that's the point of this whole thing, is to get bullseyes. And we're going to show you, I'll show you a target in a second. These targets are tiny. I look at them and I squint, and they're only 50 feet away, but they are tiny. So without further ado, here are the shoes. So one pair of shoes, these are brand new ones, they're for sale. They look like this. Okay, you can see they're perfectly flat, there is no heel on them. This one has a rounded toe. Here's the counterpart, rounded toe. They retail for about $225. This particular pair, the brand is Easy. So here's another Easy pair. And these are the ones I borrowed from the Junior Rifle Club. So, as you can see, they're exactly the same style, but the toe is squared off. Now, the coach was telling me people will actually buy these and square the toes off even more to get more stability, and all that information is in the governing rules of what you can and cannot do to modify things. These happen to be a large pair of shoes, but you can see, again, perfectly flat. They don't look very ergonomic or very comfortable, but they are ideal for shooting. I'm just going to throw them over there on the floor. Other parts of the uniform you may or may not see people wearing. Hats. And now the hats kind of look like a baseball cap to help block light, but they have blinders on the side. And that is just to reduce any light infiltration from the side, from anything else, to distract you from concentrating on getting a bullseye. Safety glasses. Now, safety glasses are a little different. Everybody's used to seeing safety glasses like these. Okay, they're clear or amber or smoked, for like sunglasses. And these are good. You use these for shooting. You use them for yard work or whatever. These glasses, if you look up competition shooting, they look like a frame that sit on the bridge of the nose and come across, and then they have like a flap that comes down blocking. Well, I'm blocking my right eye, but I'm right-handed, so it blocks the left eye, and it's got a blinder on either side. And this way, what happens? Dennis was explaining to me, if you close one eye when you squint like this to shoot, like you would think, you're actually using some muscles down here which can strain the eye. So what they want to do is they want to keep both eyes open and keep the face as relaxed as possible. So they use these special safety glasses that have a blinder on them so their face can be relaxed and things like that. So here's some footage of some of the Junior Rifle Club shooting. I tried to avoid their faces. If any of their faces may pop up, most likely it's going to be blurred just because they are kids. Don't want to be showing them.
Parts. Yeah, I'm sure it's okay. The problem is it could pull out again.
That was weird though, because I picked it up and it just fell right out.
Wow.
Now, I also mentioned that we had the Adult League. And a lot of the people come here during the week, during the day, to practice. So here's some footage of Dennis, one of our RSOs, practicing. You'll actually see him with the hat, with the little blinders on, the jacket, the whole 9 yards. So the way Dennis was explaining the positioning when shooting is you're going to twist your back in a way and kind of hunch down, lean back, hunch down, and you're going to twist in a way to where you're locking your spine so there's almost no movement. Looked very uncomfortable to me. For someone who has done a lot of damage to their back, I will not attempt to do that position for everybody. But I will put an image right here of the proper positioning. There you go. I personally would not attempt to do that. That's just me. It looks very uncomfortable. But I digress. Once you're in position and you're shooting, say, offhand. I know I keep doing this because I'm used to holding a gun like this. So they're going to either hold it like this or they can hold it like this with the foregrip sitting on the back of their hand. They can make a fist and have it sitting there. Now I know you're looking at your hand, you're like, oh, that looks uncomfortable. Probably is. But they have special gloves they wear. The right hand, their shooting hand, the one that's working the trigger, usually doesn't have a glove on it at all of any sort. But the left hand, the support hand, is going to have a glove that looks just like this. No fingers, rubber coating everywhere. It's very, very non-skid material. Padded inside, so when you have it on your hand and you have it sitting with the rifle right up here, it's not bruising your knuckles or hurting your hand. We have these obviously for sale, and you're looking at, that was a pencil, sorry. You're looking at one glove. It's going to run you about 60 bucks. I said it's not a cheap sport. Put it all in perspective though, when comparing it to like golf, right? If you're into golf, then you're not going to have cheap clubs. You're going to have really expensive clubs. You're going to have special heads made. They're all going to be measured for you, so on and so forth. This is the same way. It's customized to the athlete. That back. So, going back to my notes real quick. Big page of them. The uniform and everything and the positioning is what Dennis said was to support the gun and your body weight and the position you're shooting is bone on bone support. So that's why you're twisting your back in a way to lock it. And instead of, when I think of offhand, I think of having my arm up here, but they're actually moving it into their body to where the tricep area and everything is kind of sitting on their side, and they're using their chest, the side, for support. That's why they're leaning back and arching. It's a weird position. You saw the picture. All right, so one thing we talked about is they're only shooting at 22 long rifles at 50 feet. That's actually the Olympic standard, so whether it's NCAA, NSSF, or Olympics, 50 feet for this type of small bore. The targets, they're shooting at look like this. Now, as you can see, obviously he's hitting kind of high, but at 50 feet, you can't see any of this. So this main target in the middle is specifically for you to basically take practice shots. Each target is going to be labeled like sitting or prone. Now Dennis was telling me that During competition, you will get 1 target per position, and then you're going to shoot for the bullseyes. And one of the things they always say around here is, I'm going to slaughter it. It's like, think of tens, and I don't understand it, so I had to ask, and it's a bullseye is worth like 10 points. So I'm going to zoom in and let you take a look at the target they're shooting at. So they have to nail that bullseye at 50 feet, dead center. It's a lot harder than it looks. I don't know which junior rifle club this is, but he shot yesterday, so he's probably one of the JV shooters. I'll tell you, we've got some kids shooting. It's insane. Every single one is bullseyes. Way better shot than I am doing something like this. And I like to consider myself a pretty damn good shot. I think they're better than me when it comes to shooting something like this. Just putting the target back in order because they all have to be graded and are scored. Okay, so that's a quick, brief look at Junior Rifle Club and competition shooting. If it interests you, you should look into it. If you are in the area, obviously you're probably an adult, and you have children between the ages of 9 and 17, and you want them to learn firearm safety, the basics of shooting, concentration, attention to detail, because all that comes into play for this. I suggest you really take a look at our Junior Rifle Club. Kids seem to like it. And like I said, you don't need to invest a ton of equipment into a ton of equipment. We will supply the equipment. So if you have a child that's interested in it and you sign them up, great. With that package that you pay for them to join the league, it comes with the uniform, the use of the uniform, the use of the rifle, the whole 9 yards. And of course, after each use, they all get disinfected. So even me touching these guns right now, after we're done with the video, I'm going to go wipe them down, disinfect them, just because other people are going to be touching them. Especially this one, because it's for sale. The other one is actually a Junior Rifle Club rifle. So I got to put it back on the shelf. I hope I didn't steal it from anybody. I hope they didn't need it. Nobody came looking for it, so I think I'm good there. Okay, so I'm going to plug it again. I really need you guys to help me out here. In the description below, right at the top, is the Blue Trail Range merch. T-shirts for sale. It says you're never out of the fight. Pick one up. Order one from Killfoot Clothing. Helps us out. Helps me make this channel so much better. Gives us the fuel that we need to get everything to grow properly. I really appreciate your help. I've actually seen a few people walking around the range when the weather was warmer with the t-shirts on. So just because it's getting cold out doesn't mean you can't buy a t-shirt for wearing around your home. Go get a t-shirt. As always, like, subscribe, and share. It really helps us out, helps push the videos up. The more likes we get, that's the way the algorithm works. I appreciate it. As always, I will see you on the trail. Stay safe in the fray.